Hi everybody. Thanksgiving is a couple of days away, so I thought that I would kind of talk about that today and just kind of address kind of some of people's anxiety around this time. I know for me, being like a recovering overeater, an undereater, and binge eater, I can really feel a lot of anxiety around this time, just being around all of the food. So I just kind of wanted to tell you guys a couple of things that I do that help me get through kind of this time. So one thing that I do for sure is I kind of visualize the meal. I visualize what the meal is going to look like, what I'm going to eat, maybe what I'm not going to eat, and just really picture of what that's going to be. And that really helps me going into it. It kind of helps me have a plan. And then I also really just try to make it about the social setting, about the people that are there. Instead of just shoveling my food in mindlessly, I really try to pay attention to people when they're talking and pay more attention to maybe the conversations instead of so much on the food. Another thing that I do is I just take a moment before going into that meal, before going over to a family member's house, and just kind of get really quiet with myself. Maybe I'm praying, meditating, or I'm just taking a minute to just really breathe and just to think about what I'm going to do and the kind of the plan at hand, and really kind of set myself up for success instead of failure, because going into it can be very difficult, especially when you're just surrounded by maybe people who you haven't seen in a long time, and maybe that causes you some anxiety. And a lot of these foods that we really don't spend a lot of time throughout the year eating, but maybe it's some of your favorites. And I'm not saying to not eat those. Maybe that's a part of what you're visualizing doing, but maybe it's not eating the whole pie. Maybe it's eating a piece of pie. So it's just kind of things like that. Another thing that I kind of try to do for myself is just realize that what I don't want to feel like, that hungover feeling, that feeling of struggling for a week after with my workouts, struggling with the leftovers and just the continuous eating. And when I get in that cycle, it just feels horrible. But I know for me, for the last couple of years, really visualizing and being really mindful and paying attention to the people around me has really helped me. And it's made me feel so great. I can wake up the next day, I could just go back to eating very normally. I can really, my workouts are great. I can really just feel really good about the decisions that I made. Even if I tend to eat some of the foods that I usually wouldn't, I know that I'm not going to overeat. I know that I'm not going to binge eat. And for me, it feels really, really great. So hopefully that helps some of you. I really love Thanksgiving. It's a great time. So I hope you guys have a great holiday. Thanks.